Now from News 10 NBC, Space Shuttle Columbia, tragedy in the sky.
Good evening. I'm Wendy Wright. Americans react to the loss of the Space Shuttle Columbia. 7 American heroes are gone, and our nation is in deep mourning. The shuttle was only minutes from landing in Florida when it exploded over Texas. Debris is strewn over a 500-mile area. The FBI reports that body parts have been found, along with an astronaut's charred patch and flight helmet. All 7 astronauts on board were killed when the spacecraft broke apart. The shuttle was led by Commander Rick Husband. His crew was relatively inexperienced. Only 3 of the astronauts had ever flown before. 6 of the 7 crew members were married and 5 had children. President Bush is calling the crew of the Shuttle Columbia fallen heroes. One of the astronauts is a native of New York. Michael Anderson, an Air Force lieutenant colonel, is from Plattsburgh. He was the payload commander on Columbia. This is his 2nd time in space. The first one was on Endeavour in 1990. And this Columbia mission was the first time ever an Israeli astronaut went into space. His name was Ilan Ramon. Some local Israeli Americans and Jewish Americans helped us realize what a loss this is for their country and their faith. They spoke with our Jennifer Johnson, who is live in the newsroom now with this story. Jennifer?
Well, as many of you know, Israel has been at war over the past few years. So when Israelis got the news that Ramon would be on this mission, they were very excited. They celebrated over the past 2 weeks. But tonight, mourning and sadness, emotions local Jews marked by coming together and singing the Israeli national anthem.
Here comes the Superman entry of the astronaut from Israel.
All I could think about was what our conversations with our family these past couple of weeks, how proud, especially the children were, of this event, that an Israeli, a fighter pilot, a Jew had gone up in the Space Shuttle Columbia, and with such a sense of pride.
I still can't get over it. Still remember the Challenger explosion. Ilan Ramon represented for all of us in the Jewish community here, across the world, and in Israel, of course, a new generation of Israeli scientists.
For us, he was a symbol of a person who achieved a lot through hard work and good nature. He was an international hero. He was part of a very, very small group, very selected group of people who did things that very, very few people can do. So in my opinion, he's an international hero.
Before his launch, Ramon was quoted as saying, "I feel I'm representing the whole Jewish people." Now, he carried a small picture into space with him drawn by a boy who was killed in the Holocaust. His own mother was a Holocaust survivor. Ramon had 4 children of his own. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jennifer Johnson, News 10 NBC.
India is mourning the loss of Space Shuttle Columbia along with the United States. Among the 7 astronauts killed in the Columbia Space Shuttle tragedy was Kalpana Chawla. She's the first Indian to go up in space, and this was her 2nd flight. Her parents and sisters came to the United States to greet Chawla. A local Indian American tells us she's proud of the contribution Chawla has made in the space program.
You know, the perception is that in India, women may not be first-class citizens, or there might be a perception that they're second-class citizens. But you look at Indira Gandhi being our prime minister, and now the first Indian to go up in space was a woman. I always thought that was very amazing.
Chawla died along with mission commander Rick Husband and pilot William McCool. NASA says it's not sure yet what impact this accident will have on future missions. Astronaut Eileen Collins, who is from Elmira, is scheduled to go up on March 1st, but for now the NASA space program is halted. In 1995, Collins became the first female space shuttle commander, and it was on the Space Shuttle Columbia. Local astronaut Pam Melroy is based in Texas. The Pittsburgh native gave a speech at Nazareth College this past Tuesday and ironically spoke about astronauts who sacrificed their lives for space missions.
Everything that we do is influenced by the lessons that we learned and the mistakes that were made that we changed. But I think more importantly, not just the negative aspect, the positive aspect is the best thing that we can do is to go on and continue what these people gave their lives to do and that they believed in so strongly.
News 10 NBC spoke with her family today. They say Melroy is not allowed to comment on today's Columbia disaster, but they do ask that the community pray for the families of the crew on board the Columbia. A local filmmaker has been in town this past week promoting a documentary on Krista McAuliffe, the teacher who died on board the Challenger shuttle in 1986. Renee Sotil expected to see a beautiful landing this morning and, like so many of us, was shocked when the shuttle did not return safely. It is affecting the directors, the documentary, and the people who are part of Krista McAuliffe's life. Elizabeth Chernak has the story.
Webster native Renee Sotil and her co-producer Mary Jo Godges haven't finished their documentary about the legacy of Krista McAuliffe just yet. And because of what happened this morning, the ending of their film might have a new twist. When they watched the shuttle Columbia fall apart this morning, they couldn't believe it was happening again.
It's really sad. I mean, I'm devastated with the whole thing.
For the past week, Sotil and Godges have been promoting their documentary about the life of Krista McAuliffe, the teacher who died on board the Challenger. It's been 17 years to the week since that tragedy. When they turned on the TV this morning, they couldn't believe what they were watching.
My first reaction, I thought of Krista McAuliffe's mother, and I thought of her family, and then I thought of all the other families of the astronauts, and I just started crying.
Sotil called Krista's mom to leave a message of support. A family friend said the family was grieving.
I don't know Krista McAuliffe, but I've gotten to know the family pretty well, and I feel it's a tragedy, you know, all over again.
To make their documentary, Sotil and Godges spent a lot of time at NASA. They talked with astronauts like Pittsford's Pam Melroy about coping with the Challenger tragedy.
The clock stops for NASA.
But these filmmakers expect NASA will move forward.
Knowing the risk and weighing the odds, they continue.
And despite the tragedy, these filmmakers will continue their work to finish the documentary.
It may change the ending. It may change us including Barbara Morgan's launch.
Morgan was the backup teacher to go up in space 17 years ago. This November, she was scheduled to continue McAuliffe's mission by going up in space on the Columbia. That now may all change. Elizabeth Chernak, News 10 NBC.
The filmmakers do hope to finish their documentary called Teacher in Space, the pioneering life and legacy of Krista McAuliffe next year. And now let's head over to the Weather Lab for a check on the forecast with Josh Nichols.
All right, thanks so much, Wendy. Well, we have had quite a winter. It has been the second snowiest to date thus far, but we are enjoying a little bit of a thaw. At least some people are enjoying this. And as we look live to the 10 NBC Weather Lab Triple Doppler, we still see some light rain and snow, especially to our east. Issue, though, it was some mild air coming over the snowpack. We have some fog to deal with, especially south towards Livingston County. Keep that in mind as you step outside. 34 degrees the temperature downtown. Let's hit the charts and check out the satellite radar review over the past 12 hours. You can see a large and intensifying area of low pressure. It's a big old coastal storm that's now churning just southeast of Nantucket, throwing all kinds of moisture into southern New England with rain and snow there. We're watching a little trough of low pressure pushing in through here, and that's what's sparked off some of the light rain and snow, mainly nuisance value precipitation tonight. And again, it has led to kind of a foggy, dreary night for this Saturday night. The weather facts for today: the high temperature 36, the low 33. Had 0.17 of an inch of precipitation at the airport, mainly in the form of some of that chilly light rain and a trace of snow recorded today as well. They're your record numbers, and we are almost approaching 10 hours of daylight now at Rochester Airport. 33 degrees right now with cloudy skies, the breeze westerly at 9 miles per hour. Again, the air saturated, so that's why we have that fog out there. Weather watcher numbers tonight: temperatures mainly into the low 30s, 31 in Penn, and there was a little bit of snow this morning. Places like Penn and also out towards Leroy had about 1 inch or 2 inches of snow. As we inspect the whole country, again, you can see that storm pulling away out to sea. Here comes our next system. It's already in the Colorado Rockies. It's beginning to churn. This will begin to move off to the east, and we will find some warm frontal precipitation breaking out here by the time we get into Monday. In the meantime, though, for tomorrow, a lot of leftover clouds might break in the afternoon for a touch of sunshine as this weak high-pressure system off to the north tries to nose in. But eventually the clouds will win out the day, and we'll watch our next weather maker coming in. It is low pressure developing in the Ohio Valley for Monday. It will bring in a surge of milder air. Temperatures could flirt with 40 before they take the big old plunge by the middle portion of the week. So for tonight, cloudy with areas of fog A little bit of leftover wet snow, the low 28 to 32. Tomorrow, renegade flurries in the morning, plenty of afternoon clouds, the high temperature 34 to 37. 5-day forecast shows again mid-30s for Monday with rain and wet snow. Eventually turns to all rain, then back to snow Tuesday as temperatures plunge from early highs close to 40 when we're back into the deep freeze for the middle part of the week.
Okay, thanks a lot, Josh.
You're welcome.
Well, flags are flying at half-staff across the nation. Coming up, a look at how America is honoring and remembering NASA's lost heroes.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by your local Ford stores. It's time to start up in a new Ford Explorer with red carpet option financing for just $325 a month for 36 months with 30-33 due. So why not start the year in the world's best-selling SUV? Get red carpet option financing for just $325 a month on Explorer at your local Ford store today.
Pizza Hut announces new stuffed crust gold. The pizza with a ring of cheese baked inside the crust now has zesty cheddar cheese around the outer rim for a toasted crunch. Get a stuffed crust pizza for $9.99 or go for the gold for $1 more. Stuffed crust gold, new at Pizza Hut.
I thought dating again would be tough.
He's cute. Is he younger than me?
Maybe getting rid of my gray hair was just what I needed.
Just for men. More than a hair color, it's a hair rejuvenator. Gray hair is shampooed away in 5 easy minutes. Vitamin-enriched Just for Men brings back a thicker, healthier, natural look.
I wonder how I did tonight.
Would you like to come in?
Just for Men, the rejuvenator.
You're watching News 10 NBC and continuing coverage of Space Shuttle Columbia, tragedy in the sky.
Flags will be flying at half-staff tomorrow around the state and across the nation in memory of the Space Shuttle tragedy. And a memorial has already started forming at the Johnson Space Center in Houston to honor the astronauts. Tonight, we caught up with some people in downtown Rochester who are feeling the shock of the tragedy.
Knowing that there was that tragedy of 9/11 and having a little bit of a repeat today of that and having that same kind of sensation of, oh my God, was pretty scary.
I was very surprised and devastated, and it took me back to 1986 when the Challenger exploded. And it was sad. It was a sad feeling.
I just feel it's a very tragic event, that the loss of life and such talented people was a real big blow to American spirit.
And today is a day that will forever be imprinted in our memories. Here's our own Gabe Dalmuth with a few thoughts about today's tragedy.
It's not the first time this has happened, and it won't be the last. Along with the pain that gnaws at your stomach comes the rhetorical question, why? Why are we up there in space to begin with? For the naysayers, a day like this calls for packing up, giving up. For the rest of us, it's perhaps a chance to say once again, thank you. Thank you not only to those like Pam Melroy and Eileen Collins, but to all those unsung heroes who bring their energies and intelligence to advance knowledge. Much like the biomedical researcher looking for a cure for a disease, or the engineer working on a better fire alarm, astronauts help us all whether we know it or not. The new type of lightweight, durable plastics developed initially for aerospace might have saved your life in a car accident. A new way of growing vegetables might help feed your grandchildren. Research aboard the space station into heart disease and human endurance might change the way your doctor treats you the next time you go in for a checkup. Astronauts risk their lives for all of us, much like soldiers, police officers, and firefighters. Let us never take their work and another space shuttle launch for granted.
Thank you, Gabe. A local school district is trying out new security measures. The measures come after a potentially threatening situation last week. We'll have the details just ahead.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by York Furniture Gallery.
Prices are now being slashed during York Furniture Gallery's clearance sale. Hurry in for best selection now through Sunday only. Clearance prices with special financing now through Sunday only.
Someone you love has Alzheimer's disease. What now? Call the Dementia Care Center at Rochester Presbyterian Home. Extend your family.
I'm Rory Fitzpatrick from the Rochester Amherst. The one you love is back. The Monterey Ranch Chicken Sandwich at Wendy's. Wendy's, it's better here.
Start up the sensation of driving today at your local Ford store in a stylish new Taurus with plenty of standard features, an elegant interior, and a confident ride. Plus, red carpet option financing for just $239 a month for 36 months with 2060 due. Hurry in and get red carpet option financing for just $239 a month on Taurus at your local Ford store today.
You can hear News 10 NBC on the radio every day on WYSL News 1040 AM. These broadcasts are made possible by Rochester Colonial.
Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez.
And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier.
What a marvelous night for the action.
Let's go to the play-by-play.
Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no.
Rejected.
Clyde, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man our Just for Men Brush In Color Gel.
It's specially formulated to penetrate coarse facial hair and gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
Gets rid of strikeouts too. Just for Men Gel. The Rejuvenator.
It's happening February 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's the Cold Rush Winter Weekend, where there's real downhill skiing, snowboarding, and tubing right on Main Street. It's the coolest thing to do this season. And on Sunday the 9th, don't miss the Lakeside Winter Celebration at Ontario Beach Park. Take the Polar Plunge and the Chili Chili Challenge. The Cold Rush Winter Weekend. Another reason Rochester is so made for living.
The superintendent of the Byron Burgeon School District held a meeting today to explain 2 potentially violent incidents last week. Police arrested an 18-year-old from Medina last week after allegedly threatening a student at Byron Burgeon. Grant Lee Shoemaker is now in the Genesee County Jail. Police found a shotgun in his car parked outside. Authorities are also investigating an email death threat against 2 Byron Burgeon high school students. The district superintendent says extra security measures have been taken and they're investigating, and the investigation is ongoing.
My 6th grade son goes to school here. This district is safe.
There's cops in the building all the times, and our principal and superintendent are always at the front door now, so I feel a lot safer than I did last week.
Sheriffs will also be patrolling the schools from now on. And Rochester police are investigating a homicide. Police tell us a 20-year-old man was shot in the head near the intersection of St. Paul and Avenue D at about 11 o'clock last night. Officers say an SUV pulled up, 2 men jumped out, argued with the victim, and moments later shot him. The victim has not yet been identified. Independence Party primaries could soon be open to voters who aren't enrolled in any party. Party leaders voted today to make the change. Election law says you have to belong to a political party to vote in a primary. But Independence Party Chairman Frank McKay says the Board of Elections is wrong and his party will take the matter to court. Mark Ruba is just ahead with sports.
Are you considering laser eye surgery? Unsure what procedure is right for you? Worried about cost? Break through all the blur at LASIK-MD. Professional, personal. LASIK proves that all laser surgeries are not equal. Dr. Andrew Taylor has performed over 22,000 LASIK procedures and is board certified in the U.S. and Canada. Using the world's leading technology from Bausch & Lomb, LASIK-MD is the most advanced and proven laser eye correction. And the cost? From $375 per eye. Open up to a whole new world at LASIK-MD.
Attention, Rochester furniture shoppers. It's been years in the planning, and it's finally here. The grand opening of Raymore & Flanigan Furniture's massive Henrietta Superstore. To celebrate, absolutely everything's on sale at all 5 Rochester area locations. Now every piece of furniture has been reduced at all 5 Raymore & Flanigan Rochester area showrooms, with no deposit, interest, or payments for 1 full year, plus delivery in 3 days or less. Everything's on sale now during Raymore & Flanigan Furniture's grand opening in Henrietta. Going on now.
I'm News 10 NBC's Elizabeth Shernack. Once again, you and 10 NBC partnered together to support the efforts of local schools to sell a record number of entertainment books. Congratulations, Rochester, for raising over $1 million. Helped raise funds for many school projects, including computers for Indian Landing School, playground equipment at Honeywell Elementary, and a cultural arts program at Harris Hill Elementary. We thank Vision Automotive and Dick's Sporting Goods for supporting entertainment books.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Big Mac is 35 and we're celebrating. Right now, buy 1 Big Mac and get a second Big Mac for just 35 cents.
Go Big Mac, it's your birthday.
It's a big McDonald's party and everybody's into it.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Buy 1 Big Mac, get a second for just 35 cents. Come on, party with the Big Mac.
Value City Furniture, Ridge Road in Greece, and near Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You just can't do any better.
On a somber day, the games we play provided a necessary diversion for many. In Syracuse tonight, the Orangemen took on number 2 ranked Pittsburgh. Point guard Brandon Knight did play in this game and played well. To Chevy Troutman, he led Pitt with 16. The Panthers led by 12 at the break, but in the second half, the Cuse would rally. Hakeem Warwick inside, he had 20. It was 61-60 Syracuse. Then tied at 65, the big play. McNamara drives. Jeremy McNeil with the follow. 67-65 Syracuse. Panthers a chance to answer. Brandon Knight's prayer is answered. But the replay showed it was after the buzzer, and the Orange win a big one tonight.
Did it come back?
The fans were tremendous. The whole game would have been heartbreaking, really, to lose this game, but they weren't going to let it go.
Orangemen improved to 14-3, 5-2 now in the Big East. In the A-10 today, St. Bonaventure got worked by Temple and Ole, and Alex Westby led the Owls with 23, 96-77. The Bonnies fall to 10-10. Women's hoop tonight, Caitlin Howe and number 1 ranked Duke hosting number 2 UConn. The Huskies ran their unbeaten streak to 59 games. Diana Taurasi, 3 of her 17. Freshman Ann Struther added 17 more, 77-65. UConn wins. Local women, Fisher's 21-game home win streak snapped today. Naz a winner. RIT loses. Brockport and Geneseo win today. Roberts falls tonight. On the men's side, Fisher a winner. Hartwick snaps Naz's 13-game win streak. Mike Stanton got his 1,000th point for RIT. Brockport and Geneseo lose today. Roberts wins tonight. Box lacrosse, the Nighthawks hosted Albany tonight at the War Memorial. Pat O'Toole got the starting goal, and he was sharp tonight. 31 saves for O'Toole. And John Grant played like an all-star. 3 goals and 3 assists for the human highlight film. The Nighthawks on the break later. Watch this. O'Toole to Andrew Turner to Corey Bomberry. He had 2 goals, and Rochester never trailed after that. Casey Zapp, the nice bounce pass to Chris Schiller. The Nighthawks win it 12-9. The same 2 teams play tomorrow afternoon in Albany. The Emmericks played their final game before the AHL All-Star break tonight in Syracuse and lost in overtime. David Ling with the game-winning goal, Mika Noren 36 saves in a losing effort. The NHL All-Star weekend began with the Young Stars game tonight. Buffalo goalie Ryan Miller won for the East as teammate Taylor Pyatt scored. 8-3 the final in that game. Among the skills winners tonight, Al McInnes with the hardest shot, 98.9 miles per hour. The All-Star game is tomorrow along with the Pro Bowl. Canadian Olympic star Haley Wickenheiser became the first female to score a goal in a men's pro hockey game today. It happened in Finland. High school hockey board tonight, the Lightning win today. AQ and Canandaigua tie. Hilton's Dominic Colicchio, the game winner in overtime. At the McQuaid tournament, the Knights win the consolation over Fairport. Thomas and the Thunder also win. Also Geneva over Victor. Geneseo over BK Eastridge. Spencerport nips Churchville. The Monroe County Wrestling Championships for tonight at Webster Schrader. The Warriors' Eric Ziegler, the 112-pound champ at 119. Schrader's Gregor Gillespie took on Hilton's Joe Rosenbach. Gillespie won on a technical fall. At 115, Mike Wood of Eastridge took 2 points against Brighton's Gene Kobolansky. He won 6-3. At 119, Spencerport Steve Stolpen got 3 points for the near fall and beat East Rochester's Stephen Craig 6-0. The Rangers also took the team title tonight. Schrader's Andrew Krieger was the most outstanding wrestler. Boys hoops tonight. Mark Johnson won it at the buzzer for Irondequoit. Victor beat Sutherland. Lions over Clyde. In girls play, Olympia beat Victor behind 14 from Kate Gilligan. And in golf today, Tim Herron has taken sole possession of the lead at the Bob Hope Classic. Lumpy shot a 65 to go 29 under par. He has a 4-stroke lead tonight. And that is sports.
Okay, thanks, Mark. And the winning lottery numbers are next.
Strike up the band for this American classic, Meredith Willson's The Music Man. It's the musical that hits a big Broadway chord of approval.
Right here in River City.
Variety hails Susan Stroman's choreography impeccable, even intoxicating.
The M&T Bank Broadway season welcomes The Music Man to Rochester. 8 shows only February 4th through the 9th. Ask about Kids Night on Broadway.
Take a pleasant ride to Papa Joe's restaurant in Sodus Point. Treat yourself to some great casual dining at Papa Joe's. Now open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, year-round. Let Papa Joe's chefs and staff prepare a special delight for your appetite. Hosts Don and Judy Buchwald are now taking reservations for your private parties. Papa Joe's, the place to go. Papa Joe's Restaurant, downtown Sodus Point. Phone 483-6372.
If you see news happen, call the News 10 NBC hotline at 232-1010 or star 10 on your Verizon Wireless phone. Join in, a service brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
What's up for tomorrow?
Slick spots as we go through the overnight tomorrow. Plenty of clouds, couple of morning flurries, temperatures into the mid-30s.
Okay, thank you very much, Josh. And that's the very latest from News 10 NBC. We will continue to have coverage of today's Space Shuttle tragedy throughout the weekend. So please stay with us over the weekend. Good night.